So, I had to come back and make a video. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't gonna make a video reacting to UFC 314. I wasn't. I was legit gonna be like, I'm not uploading at all. So, I was watching the card, and I honestly was the card was really good that I had to go and make a video reacting to it because I would be doing myself I wouldn't be doing myself a favor if I was not reacting to this card. And I mean, first off, obviously there's a lot of things that happened. I want to start off with some good fights. So overall, I had a pretty good. I had pretty good picks. I had Nora Cornell. I think I had her by decision, but she got a submission. Although she did miss weight, I think what she did overall was it was a pretty good performance. Marco Tulio, I think I predicted him by KO, and that's what happened. Gore, chin is made out of steel, but I mean, this was a really good fight, really entertaining way to honestly start off the card. I'd say one of the biggest stinkers of this fight was definitely the Sumer Derji versus Mitch Raposo. Raposo really was just trying to wrestle, and honestly, Sumer Derji is so long and so tall that the boxing for Raposo was not going to work. He was not able to get into that range. As a result, he incorporated the wrestling, but he wasn't able to take him down or really control him as much. And it was a split decision. I did not think Raposo won that fight at all. So, split decision. I thought it was unanimous. I thought Sumer Derji won that fight pretty convincingly. So, yeah. Next, we got Cedric Dumas versus Mikhail Olajaychuk. Olajaychuk really delivered a statement in this fight. People were arguing about the stoppage. I thought the stoppage was good. I thought that the stoppage was pretty fair. Dumas was just really covering up. He wasn't doing anything to advance or get up or anything. He was just sitting there covering up. And usually when people do that, it doesn't mean that they're still fighting. They're still in there if they're blocking the punches. Because if you're just covering up, that's like the last line of defense. And it just means the fight's over. I mean, if Olajaychuk just kept going, it would have just been unnecessary hits. So, Olajaychuk started training at the Fighting Nerds. I think it's really paid off well for him. He looked a lot more confident in that fight compared to the Shara fight. He looked a lot better in there. Compared to his last two fights, he looked a lot better. He was putting on the pressure. He showed why he's a really good striker. I really like this fight. Really good performance from Olajaychuk. Next, we got the Unk fights. And, Orosa got a KO. Elkins should retire. That's all I'm going to say. Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. Now, people were saying this fight was boring. You guys don't know grappling. I thought Chase did really well advancing and trying to look for submissions. But Jim Miller's tough. He's a tough guy. He's a really good grappler himself. So it's not going to be very easy to get a submission off him. And, Chase Hooper, he was he showed really good levels. He showed really good grappling. Striking could be a little bit up there. Jim Miller was still able to get some moments, and he looked pretty slow in that fight. So, I think Chase Hooper still got a lot to learn, but I agree with his statement that he should be going against younger guys, younger opponents, because, as much as those Clay Guida and Jim Miller performance is really good, I'd like to see him go against younger opponents just to see a more competitive fight. See how Chase Hooper does in those situations. And that's really what will prove to him, say that, yeah, he could be a ranked contender. So, we got the women's fight, the main women's fight, Yan Xiaonan versus Virna Jandiroba. I had Jandiroba winning. I had her winning by submission. She got the decision, but she had Xiaonan in a lot of submission attempts. She was really close to getting that armbar at the end of the third round. She was really close getting that armbar in the first round. And, she was definitely giving Yan Xiaonan a ton of trouble on the ground. Xiaonan was doing better on the feet, but it was clear Jandiroba just was only going there to try to grapple, and she did a good job. She's the number one contender. She's probably going to get the next title shot against Zhang Weili. And since Shevchenko is fighting Manon, I don't think that super fight between Zhang and Shevchenko is going to be made. So I think Shevchenko is going to fight Manon. And Whaley's going to fight Jandiroba sometime later this year. And we're going to see that super fight maybe sometime in 2026. Next, I'd say this is a controversial fight. Danny Gay versus Sean Woodson. I had Sean Woodson winning. I had him winning by KO, but I was thinking he was going to cruise to a decision victory. It was a pretty close fight. Danny Gay was doing really well. He was doing well putting the pressure, closing the distance. He was landing those right overhands, and he got one really good. He got a really good overhand on Woodson, and he wobbled him, and he honestly had him in a ton of trouble. The problem was with the stoppage. I didn't think the stoppage was so early or not unnecessary. I just felt like he could have given him a couple more seconds. Just a couple more seconds just to see, does Sean Woodson get up from that, or does Danny Gay keep hitting? If Danny Gay kept hitting, stop it. If Sean Woodson got up, well, obviously it would have been a bad stoppage. So I didn't like it. He destroyed my parlay, which sucks. So yeah, I did not like that. Next, we got what I call one of the most impressive performances tonight, honestly. Dominic Reyes KOing Nikita Krylov in the first round. He slept him horribly, got him really good with that left hand and on the chin. I mean, it reminded me of the Conor McGregor knockout. You know, Conor McGregor was very underrated in that fight. A lot of people don't know. Back then, Conor McGregor was the underdog in that fight. Jose Aldo was a really good guy. And Krylov, he was on a 3-fight winning streak. Dominic Reyes was at an underdog. He was the underdog. He was having two good, impressive KO wins over Smith and Jacoby. But I mean, people were I thought this was going to be a 50-50 fight, very competitive. And I was recognizing that Reyes could win this fight just because of Krylov's time off. I feel like Krylov would have been a different guy. And what I didn't expect is him knocking out Krylov in the first round. Now, that was something I did not expect. So, I mean, this was a good fight. Now, Reyes definitely has title opportunities. He has title opportunities now. You could get a really good title eliminator with maybe the winner of Jamal Hill versus Roundtree, or Carlos Ulberg, or Yuri Prokaska, And I think he's showing that he is a different level. He's 35, which you think is old for maybe the younger divisions, but in the light heavyweight division, 35 is still pretty young. And Reyes has a ton of potential. He did beat Jones. I'm gonna say it. He did beat John Jones. So we have to put that out there. Now, another impressive performance: Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. Oh man, was Gene Silva being hated on for some reason? I mean, Bryce Mitchell, he does have a way of captivating the people. He does have a way of making himself talk like he's like this prophet, But I always knew Gene Silva was going to win this. I always knew Gene Silva's striking was going to be a problem for Bryce Mitchell. I did not expect Gene Silva to do as well in the grappling, which really surprised me. And getting a submission over Bryce Mitchell, I mean, let me tell you, that is so insanely impressive. Bryce Mitchell is arguably the best grappler in that featherweight division. I mean, featherweight does have some good grapplers. You got Mosvar, you got Algerman. But Bryce Mitchell is definitely a very good submission artist. And Gene Silva submitted the submission artist. This kind of reminded me of that Islam versus Charles fight, where people were saying Charles could submit Islam, and then Islam submits the submission artist. It was like that. Gene Silva dominated Bryce Mitchell in this fight. Him being a favorite in this fight was very good reason. People were saying that Bryce Mitchell was an underdog pick, and I totally get that because of the Jourdain performance. But Gene Silva has been improving every fight. That Bakhtiarian fight was very good performance. I knew that Gene Silva's striking was going to be a problem. The grappling has shown me that he can really learn at a fast pace. And, I mean, this was a really good fight. I really liked this fight. This being the people's main event is definitely true because there was so much hype around it and it ended in such a spectacular way. And let's be for real. I think Bryce Mitchell can still bounce back, but I don't know. He's getting fed to the wolves, man. Next, we got Yair versus Patricio Pitbull. Now, this was a good fight. Very good fight. Yair showed why he is a top 5 guy in this division. He proved it against such a good veteran. And the guy, honestly, he knocked out Michael Chandler in the first round. Very talented Patricio Pitbull. Pitbull had some moments. Pitbull had some moments in that fight. But Yair was the one controlling. He was the one landing the better hits. It was a clear 30-27. And honestly, I expected this. I knew what Yair was going to win. Yair is a very tricky striker. And for a short guy like Pitbull, who doesn't have that much of a long reach, I knew that Yair was going to get a win with this one. Now, another impressive performance. I mean, there were so many impressive performances. Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler. KO, round 3. He brutalized Chandler for mainly the 3 rounds. You know, Chandler had some moments with the wrestling. He was getting some good ground and pound. But Paddy looked in control of this fight. He was doing better on the feet. He was landing the leg kicks. And that knee was just so good. Reminded me of the Sean O'Malley knee. But it actually damaged, you know. And Chandler, he's a tough guy. But, man, like, that cut was really bad. Paddy, after that knee, he just had his way with him. That cut was really hard. If that fight made it out of the 3rd round, it would probably got stopped by the doctor. But yeah, TKO happened. Chandler, for Pimblett, I'd say the next fight you should have for him, I don't know yet, but we're gonna decide. We're gonna decide what fights these guys will have after for the main card. Michael Chandler, I don't know what he's gonna do at this point. It's only going to be killers he's going to be facing down in the bottom of the top 15. So, I don't know. Like, he's getting up there in age. He's 38. He's going to be 39 soon. And I don't know. Maybe the Chandler we once knew that had really entertaining fights with Charles and Justin and Dustin. You know, that's not there anymore. And it was clear from that fight. Next, we got one of the most stellar performances. I mean, this was a really good fight. Like, when I tell you, this is one of the best fights that we could have ever seen in this card. So, Volkanovski came back. Everyone was doubting this guy. He was a favorite in this fight, which honestly wasn't surprising. You know, Lopez hasn't really fought a guy like Volkanovski. But, yeah, this was a really impressive performance for Volkanovski. But Diego Lopez impressed me the most because he really showed that he belongs on those big stage. He has a chin of a granite, like the adamantium vibranium chin. It's like he takes these shots from Volkanovski. He just doesn't. He just keeps standing. He just keeps fighting, and he was giving Volkanovski some trouble too. He got a couple of cuts on his eye, and I feel like Volkanovski gets cut there a lot. I feel like that's a vulnerable region to get cut for him. And he dropped Volkanovski in the 2nd round, which was a very significant moment. He wobbled Volkanovski, but Volkanovski was the one landing the better shots. He outstruck Diego Lopez by a ton, like almost actually more than triple, almost triple significant strikes. I mean, this was a really good performance from Volkanovski. He was landing so many good hits on Lopez, and Lopez was just taking it. It kind of reminded me of the Ortega fight with Volkanovski. Like, Volkanovski was clearly dominating on the feet, but Ortega just kept pressing forward and Lopez kind of reminds me of an Ortega, but just faster and has way better striking, you know, and he can box. So more dangerous Ortega, which is actually kind of impressive to be more dangerous than Ortega. And, you know, the fact that this fight kept standing was also one of the things that I was surprised about. Volkanovski couldn't get any takedowns, but Lopez didn't even really try to take this to the ground either. He kept trying to stand and bank with him, which I really respected. This was a really entertaining fight, really good fight, really good in performance by Volkanovski. I mean, holy. I don't think we've seen a Volkanovski this good since that Max Holloway fight. Or the Islam fight. The Islam fight was pretty good too. Obviously, he was up in division, so maybe Volkanovski was a bit slower. But, man, Volkanovski was fast. I think he beat the old age allegations. I mean, the Volkanovski that showed up to Diego Lopez tonight was on a different role. He was doing really well. He had a very good 1st round, very good 2nd round too. He did have some trouble when he got dropped, but he got up pretty quickly. He had some moments where he was getting hurt, but he didn't have any moments where he looked like he was going where he was getting really threatened on the feet, like he was getting almost finished, you know. So I'm just looking at that post show right now. There's no volume on it, but it looks like Patty and Colby have been arguing. I don't know what that's about, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see about that. But not to get distracted, Volkanovski gets the title back. He is the featherweight champion. I mean, let's start off with the fights I want to make next. For Diego Lopez, I'd be interested to see a Yair fight. There's a lot of beef with that. There's a lot of history. They come from the same team. Yair had beef with their team. They have a lot of bad blood, and I think this would be a perfect fight for UFC 320 as a feature bout. I mean, this would be really good. We can have them on a press conference again arguing. I love to see that. I understand some Spanish, so I can understand what they were saying before, and I'll probably understand what they're saying now. So I think that's a good fight. Lopez versus Yair. Yair said he wants to get the title. I think that he does need one more fight to get the title. And I think Lopez, being a former title challenger and having a good fight with Volkanovski, could definitely make a case for a title eliminator. Now, for Volkanovski, Mosvar is next in line. I mean, he's 19-0, massive win streak, and yeah, I mean that's just a fight to make, you know. Maybe if Pitbull had an impressive performance against Yair, we could have seen Pitbull get that title shot over Mosvar because the UFC doesn't really like Mosvar. But Yair won. Yair's probably not going to get a title shot because he did get beat by Volkanovski again before, like 2 years ago. So we're probably going to see Mosvar get the title shot. I don't know when, considering what it is, but maybe we could see it in Abu Dhabi. I don't like it to be in Abu Dhabi, to be honest, because that's not really good luck for. But if there is an Australia event. There was an Australia event already, but man, if there's a good event, maybe we can have Volkanovski versus Mosvar. Maybe we can even have it for International Fight Week if they're really active and Volkanovski didn't take that much damage. He didn't really take that much damage. He had cuts pretty much healed pretty fast, honestly. So Volkanovski's an active guy. I'd love to see him fight Mosvar for International Fight Week. I think that'd be a very good fight. Very competitive fight. And I think Volkanovski could easily win that fight. For the co-main, for Paddy Pimblett, I'd say give him a title eliminator. And who else to give a title eliminator to Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett would be a very good fight. Paddy has shown that he's a very good striker. Very good kickboxer, good leg kicks, and he has very good grappling. It'd be like a Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje Part 2. And I think that would be a very entertaining fight. They're both vibrant personalities. They both would probably beef with each other. You know, US versus UK. And I think that would be a good win to have to solidify yourself for a title shot. So, and the fact is, that Paddy versus Ilya fight could definitely be possible. If Ilya gets a title shot and he wins the championship belt and Paddy gets a title, has an opportunity for a title shot, we could see Paddy versus Ilya for the title. That's crazy. We never thought that would happen, but it happened. For Michael Chandler, I don't really know. I heard that Fiziev is going to be fighting Bahamondes, so I honestly think that Chandler should fight the winner of Alvarez versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I think that'd be a good fight. I mean, I'm not trying to feed Chandler to the wolves here, but I'm pretty sure he would love to be fed to the wolves here, you know? Going against a guy like Joe Alvarez would definitely be a good matchup. It would probably be a bad matchup for Michael Chandler, but that's what happens when you're losing streak and you're 39 and you're in the lightweight division, you know? And I think Michael Chandler's proven is like he's not really the same guy. Or maybe he was. And he was never that good. But I don't want to discount him like that because I like Michael Chandler. So, I'm going to go with Michael Chandler fighting the winner of Alvarez versus BSD. I know they're fighting UFC 315, so that could be a good fight for Abu Dhabi or maybe like some card. Maybe the Madison Square Garden card. We can have that. That'd be a good one. Next, we got Yair. Yair versus Lopez. I did say Lopez versus Yair, so Yair versus Lopez. I already explained it. For Pitbull, I don't know what his next fight would be. Honestly, I'd like him to fight someone like... it depends on where he's ranked. Now, a fight that I'm really interested to see is a fight between him and... maybe, honestly, run it back with... like, rebook that fight with Aljamain Sterling. Have them fight. If Patricio Pitbull gets a ranking, which I don't think he might not get a high ranking, to be honest. But, who knows. And I think that would be a good fight to have him fight Aljamain Sterling. Sterling called him out before. Sterling said no. It was probably due to time reasons. Maybe he wants to fight a different guy. Pitbull lost. Maybe Aljamain has some confidence now. He's like, oh, I can take this guy on. And he wants to fight him now. So, run that fight. For Gene Silva, he will probably be the number 13 ranked fighter. A really good fight. This is a featherweight division. I mean, what's a really good fight for him? Honestly, I'm really curious. Lopez, Yair, Mosvar, they're probably going to be fighting. Ortega's probably going to be moving up to lightweight. That's tough. I don't really know who he should fight. Who's in the top 10? Who's in the top 10? I mean, Aljamain would be a good fight. Thinking. I think Gene Silva versus Arnold Allen would be a good fight. I know Allen doesn't have a fight right now. And with Gene Silva delivering a stellar performance, I think that'd be a good fight. It would be a good way for Gene Silva to get into the top 10, maybe even secure a title shot. And, I mean, Gene Silva's a future champion. I mean, he is improving at such a fast pace. And to have a beast like Arnold Allen to fight Gene Silva, that would be a banger. I mean, I'm cooking with this. Allen versus Silva would be a really good fight. So, I'm going to go with that. Allen versus Silva. Mitchell, on the other hand. I don't really know. Maybe he should retire. Maybe go back to Arkansas. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. But for Mitchell, I don't really know. He didn't really do that well against Gene Silva, but Gene Silva's a beast. Hopefully he doesn't get kicked out of the rankings. I don't really know. Maybe I'm a casual. But I don't really know. I can't think about it right now. My computer's low on charge, so I want to get back to the other fights. Bryce Mitchell maybe should, I don't know, fight Anne Frank or something. For Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. So for Nikita Krylov, I was thinking maybe Krylov could fight someone like maybe the winner of Umar Sy versus Manyfield. I think that would be an interesting one. Manyfield's number 15 ranked. I know Azamat is booked against Walker. I know Jean Mignon is fighting Anthony Smith. And I don't see anybody else really booked. I mean, there's Uzumir, but I think Krylov already fought Uzumir. Did he? I think he did. Yeah, he did, yeah. So, Krylov versus the winner of Umar Sy versus Manyfield. I think Sy is very underrated. I think he's going to destroy Manyfield easily, submit him. And I could see Krylov versus Sy being a fight to be made. So, for Dominic Reyes, on the other hand, I think he did put out some names out there. He put Hill. He put Ulberg. He put the Yuri rematch. I don't like the Yuri rematch. I think Yuri could still knock him out. And although the chin has been tested. He has gone against some hard hitters like Jacoby and Krylov, but he's a really good striker and he does really well avoiding those hits. So, I don't know. It would still be a competitive fight, but I think the perfect fight to make is the winner of Hill versus Roundtree. Have Roundtree, because Roundtree already fought for the title, and I think Roundtree needs more than just one win to get a title shot. So I think if Roundtree wins this fight against Hill, then I'd love to see Roundtree versus Reyes. You know, Roundtree's a hard hitter. Reyes is a hard hitter. They're both really good strikers with intense power. It would be a really good fight, and it would be a good striking fight because these guys are really like brawlers. Like, these guys fight. They're not like power punchers who just wait for the right moment. We fight. So that would be a banger fight. Roundtree versus Reyes. It sounds good off the tongue. So we're going to go with that. And, yeah, that's all. That's all I'm going to make for this video. Don't expect another video, though. I'm probably still going to quit after today. So don't expect any more content from Instagram or YouTube. If you do, Well, that's great. I might make a video for CP versus the Cuck. Who knows? I might. But most likely I will not. Because that week I probably will have finals. And I'll be too busy. So, anyways, that's all for this one. Want to let you know my life updates. So far I've been doing good. Been losing some weight. I've been having struggles with eating. But, apart from today, I had to celebrate. I was with some friends. But I had to celebrate, but overall, my diet has been pretty good. And honestly, the version you're gonna see of me when I come back, you know, after my finals are over, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a different version, a way better version. So I can't wait to see that. Anyways, that'll be all for me. I'll see you in the next one.